going, bro, we hopped up on that bus. It's Chill, Hyde, and Raji, glad you came to whip with us. Got no GPS or telling what we gon' discuss. Shout out Thompson Farms, they got the melons and the nuts. We like a trampoline.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special edition of the Big Ugly Sports Show. My name is Chill. To my left over here, we got Raji, we got Hype beside me, and we got Law to my right. We have a special coaches preseason show for you tonight in the local Toombs County area. This will be broadcast on YouTube as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Special thank you to Hardware Pizza on location tonight. Wes Wilkes, the owner, Cameron Panic, the general manager, for allowing us to do this, and we are very grateful. We are the Big Ugly Sports Show. We are very mediocre at what we do. Some would even say below average, but we're proud to do it. So up first tonight, we have Vidalia Heritage Academy coach Seth Sitsman coming up. I probably messed that name up, and I'll mess up a few times. So, Coach, come on up. Grab the mic. You may have to turn it on.
Hold on.
It's part of it. Part of it. All right, Coach, talk to us.
You got me?
We got you.
We got you.
Face that way, Coach, so the camera can see you.
Yes. Turn catty corner right there.
Coach, welcome, man. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come over here and be with us. I'm sure you've got a lot going on right now, but we are glad you're on the show with us.
Appreciate y'all having me, man. Looks a lot of fun. So
It's something else.
That is definitely something else.
We're gonna have some technical difficulties. We're gonna have some awkwardness. I'm sure we've never done this live and in person before. So just bear with us and stay loose. Sounds and we'll see how it goes.
Yep. All right, Coach, if you will, just for the people here and the people that'll be watching on YouTube and listening, if you will, just tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe what got you into coaching, where you went to school, where you're from, just a little bit so we can learn a little bit about you.
Sure, yeah. I grew up in Peachtree City, Georgia. I went to school at McIntosh High School out of Fayette County area. Fell in love with sports at a young age. Always seemed like it was the backbone for my development. As a young man, I always fell back on it, but had a blessed time in Peachtree City where I grew up and played a lot of sports there. I played football, baseball, and I wrestled as well there.
Okay, wrestling background, nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I actually drew a lot more love for wrestling growing up than I thought I would. I started in middle school when I was in 6th grade with a middle school program, so fell in love with that pretty quick just because I found a lot of success with it.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I got to McIntosh and they're a 5A public school, so had a lot of competition in front of me with baseball. Fell in love with baseball as well. Ended up finding my spot. They had a freshman team there and a junior varsity as a sophomore, and had a lot of typical junior seniors that would when you would start there. But started as a junior, came in, fell in love with football as well. But I don't know, it's been good for me. Sports, I don't want to go all the way back to me when I learned how to walk, but I just, like any other athlete, you fall in love with these things, and I was blessed enough to be able to carry on my baseball career at Bruton Parker from 2012 to 2016, where I played all 4 years. Played 3 years under Boo Mullins, 1 year for Aaron Larson. He's still over there, but it's been good for me.
So is that how you got acquainted with Vidalia Heritage from your time at Bruton Parker?
Yeah, so I couldn't even tell you about Vidalia growing up. No, it's never
some
on
good
my
onions.
radar. Yeah, but Eric Fox, who's not over there currently, he recruited me from my baseball, one of my baseball games, and ended up meeting my wife at Bruton Parker College, and she got into a teaching program over at J.D. Dickerson. So decided to hang around and start developing a family around here.
Cool.
Well, Coach, tell us kind of what this summer's looked like for you. I know you guys won state last year. Am I right about that?
No, we made it to semifinals last year. The year before that, we actually were fortunate enough to win state, but we've had a lot. I think the last 4 years we've made the state playoffs and made a good carry to it, but we've lost a couple key seniors last year that probably didn't help us get to the state game, but we didn't have these high hopes. as we did that year that we did win state, but it was still a really good year for us. And with this year coming back, we've lost even more seniors that we've developed that whole program with since they were in 6th and 7th grade. But we did our part going in the hallways and getting a few more seniors. We know they're athletic, and just trying to encourage them to come play football for us.
At a small school, that's got to be hard. I know we all work at West Lawrence High School, and it's a big school, and it's hard to find people to play. So has that been a challenge to try to find? I mean, are you having to constantly, you feel like, walk the halls and look for people that you think could come out, a big body walking the hall that might come out and help?
Yeah, that's definitely a hard part. You only got in the high school and in middle school, you only got up to upward maybe 60 male kids in the whole school. So trying to get these kids developed at a young age and encourage these kids when they're in 4th and 5th grade to just get into football or get into any sport, develop that athletic ability is super key for these kids, and obviously holding on to them and encouraging them to play through middle school and then get them into high school and keep a love for the game. That's a real hard part too, and it's key for those kids not to burn them out too early, because there's a lot of those athletes are playing every sport. They're playing. They're wrestling, they're playing baseball, they're running track. So
this is
it's hard to keep that love for them.
Completely different world than what we're used to at West Lawrence. They have, I think, from like pre-K or kindergarten to senior, 350 kids.
Yeah, it's grown a lot just from I've been there. I know they started off with kindergarten, went through 5th grade, and now they're obviously through 12th grade. But we've blown up. We really have, and it's been a blessing for us. And I think it's from doing all the right things. It's been a blessing from us. We pursue God. We don't have an unapologetic attitude about it. And I think that's key to it. So it's just been a blessing. It really has.
Tell us, Coach, about some guys to watch for coming this year. Maybe some returning starters that your fans can look forward to seeing. Maybe you're expecting big things out of this year, by name, maybe.
Yeah, skilled guys. We got a few guys that got some reps behind. Some big shoes last year. In the backfield, we had Dylan Green. He's still young. He'll only be a sophomore for us, but has a lot of speed. Knows the playbook. And we had Jake Adams. He's coming back for us. He's looking to be in our quarterback rotation for us this year, and just a smart kid, and does a really good job of just leading the team and getting the kids where they need to be and running our proper offense. So, we got another kid that played baseball for us. He transferred in from Dublin last year, and, he's looking to play a wingback position for us. So, a lot of speed and aggressive kid. So, we're haven't got to see him play on a Friday night, but we're looking forward to seeing him play.
Is Dylan Green, would his parents be Casey? His mom, Casey, and dad, Cricket, by
That's
chance?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I went to high school with Casey and used to go to church with him when we were
He's
kids.
a funny guy.
Yeah. But anyway, I just didn't know if I've seen him on Facebook, and I know he played it, but I didn't know what grade he was in. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when I hear y'all talking about it, like wingback, so y'all a wing T type team? What's kind of this?
Yeah, we run
you guys.
Also something we didn't really get to bring up, but we play 8-man football, and it's key for us because we have roster limits as well. So if we exceed 20 kids, then we got to play 11-man football, which is it would be a great thing for the school. It means you're growing, but our average size is around 17, 18 kids on the field, and majority of those skilled kids are playing special teams, offense, defense. So it's a different shape that you got to be in for these kids, but it's a different style of football. It's not nothing crazy that I watched the whole first quarter of 8-man football game, and I was like, oh wait, that's something's different here. And it's if you spread them out, it's a lot different, and you keep them in tight, you really can't tell a difference. But we run a double wing style formation. Try to keep everything balanced within our offense. We've tried different things in years past and spread the kids out, and if you can get to the edge in 8-man football and you got some speed, you can really wear the other team out. That's why you see high scoring games in the 60s and stuff like that. It's just you get to the edge, have a fast kid, it'd be a fun day for you.
We could talk to him for hours because I'd like to know who you eliminating in 8-man football. I've never seen 8-man football.
Yeah, so actually GAPS, the league that we're in, it used to be GICAA, I believe. It's actually the biggest league in the Southeast with 8-man football. So we're the only school south of 16 other than Sherwood Christian Academy. I'm sure you know them. They're the big Facing Giants school. Us, and then them, and then it used to be David Emmanuel Academy. They used to be in it, but they're in GISA now.
Twiggs Academy was.
Twiggs Academy.
Was in it
Yeah, they went to GISA as well. So there's a lot of schools within that area that you can play non-region, but when you get into your region play, you're going to be up in the Atlanta area a good bit. So our semifinals, we had to go to Rome, Georgia this year. So it was.
So how many kids do you have to have on the line?
You got to have 5 kids on the line.
5 kids on the line.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are there still jersey number rules? And
no, there's not. No, you can have number 99 run out for a pass if you'd like. So,
that'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
That's a good
Put
question.
number 3 at left guard.
No, but yeah, I guess if you would run an I-type formation, a typical, your two ends would be your tackles in football, and those 2 guys are eligible, which would be tight ends.
Right.
And any other,
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so you can send those guys out. If you get into a spread formation, that's when it starts to look a little bit weird. You got, center, guard, and then also you got to have 5 guys on the line, so somebody has to check in. But yeah, it's fun to play. You got to be in shape. You really do.
Oh, yes.
You do. It's a fast game.
No 2 platoon in here.
Do what?
No 2 platoon in here. You got to play both sides.
Coach, tell the people that are listening things. When do you guys open up?
Sure.
Your season? How close is that?
Yeah, I got my schedule right here. I just make sure I don't tell you wrong.
We do a lot of things on this show wrong, so you'd fit right in.
It's mostly Raji.
We open up. Our first home game will be August 25th. We'll play Central Christian. They're out of Sharpsburg, Georgia, so they're obviously that's a drive.
Noon in action.
Yeah, we played them last year. It was a good matchup for us. They won't be in our region this year, but they're a good football team, so we'll have to really be ready. It's not going to be a walkover for us that first game. But
Who would you say is the biggest rival for Vidalia Heritage?
we used to play David Emmanuel a good bit, and that was just because they're down the street from us, and they play 8-man football. They're the Eagles. We're the Eagles. I guess maybe you'd say Sherwood now, just because they're on somewhat close to us.
Yeah.
I guess that's crazy to say you're 2 hours away and you say it's close, but in a region game, but not too many, I guess you'd say, but I guess you'd have to go with David Emmanuel.
My cousin used to play for years ago when I was a little bitty for David Emmanuel. I remember going to Swainsboro and watching him play basketball and football and baseball.
They've been doing it a long time. They do a great job of it too.
Thanks for sharing that memory, Law. Appreciate that.
It's all about the stories. That's what
Man, my
people
uncle's
relate.
cousin, I used to go watch my grandfather's cousin's brother over there at
But the only reason, because I don't know a lot of the teams.
All right, let it go.
I know where
I know the
David Emmanuel
Vidalia
is.
Heritage people really appreciate that little tidbit you just brought to
Well,
the
I
show.
know where David Emmanuel is. It's not that far from.
So
In
now
case everybody here is wondering, Law knows where DEA is located.
we're tapping into that fan base as well. In case you didn't know.
They pick on you a
Exactly
lot.
why I
man.
almost didn't come tonight.
He's sensitive, so that's why we do it.
Very
Big teddy bear.
sensitive.
Coach, I know you can look at us and tell we're all in pretty top shape, but we consider height to be like our tough guy,
That's
our Brahma bull, if you will. And Coach, you look to be in pretty good shape. So I need, if you and Height went board drill 1v1 right now, how do you feel about it? Just by looking at him now, if you need him to.
He said he was experienced in wrestling. I think it'd be a good, a good
now
shot.
I'm about 240, Coach. How much you weigh?
Oh, you got me on the weight, 190 pounds.
I
Coach,
have a
you
feeling.
What's
do
his
it.
bench press
Your
record?
leverage probably be able to get low.
Height, I think, this morning, you said you went to the gym, you got 315, 25 times.
No chance. At no time in my life.
That's true. I say you got me.
Well, how old are you? About 27, 26? How old are you?
I'm 30.
30? Yeah. I'm 38, so. I don't know. I feel
Is that
it
a
might be
disadvantage or an advantage?
Being old is definitely
I will say now, you and Jalen Carter would be a good battle, honestly.
I've been up there to Peachtree Ridge, and
That's
that's big time
That is
wrestling
true.
up there. So I feel like Coach may have height.
We got two wrestling gurus over
So
there.
he and I
Ridge is
both
not in
coach at West
Peachtree
Lawrence,
City,
or he's the head wrestling coach there now.
Oh, okay.
I used to coach with him over there, but
Peachtree Ridge is not in Peachtree.
Peachtree City is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, but that's two different. Peachtree Ridge is in like
Peachtree
Gwinnett.
City.
Peachtree City is in Fayetteville.
listen, he
That's what
knows
I
where
meant to
David
say.
Emmanuel was. Does not
I'm
know of these other places.
I do know a picture.
Well, Coach, man, we appreciate your time. We're going to follow you guys this year. We hope to make this an annual thing that maybe you can come back to. This is our first time doing this, so expect it to be very not well done. But we are grateful for your time, and we wish you guys the best going forward. And if you ever need anything from the Big Ugly Sports team,
sure,
call us. But here's what you have to do before you get off, okay?
All right.
If you can see at the bottom of the logo down there, it says, get on that bus.
Yeah.
Bert. That's how we need you to.
Yeah.
We need you to say that.
Page.
Your best effort on that
We need
noise.
you right now to say, get on that. Give me an example, Raji.
Get on that bus. Bert.
Let's hear it.
Get on that bus. Bert.
There you go. Coach, we appreciate your time, man.
Was
Thank
that
you.
a Bert at the end?
Yeah, Bert.
Oh, Bert.
It's really whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want it to be.
We made up the spelling.
Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all.
Coach, thank you.
It's like world.
All right, we've got Coach JP Padilla. Coach, if you'll come on up. He's our next guest on the show representing Pinewood Christian Academy. Yep, and you can kind of face that camera out in there. How you doing today, Coach? You got to turn it on, sorry. Should have told you that. Listen, it's Big Ugly Sports.
Mic
We
check.
do everything sloppy around here. So.
No, we're good. Yeah, I'm good. All right. I'm good.
You doing all right today?
Doing good, man. How y'all?
Good, man.
Thanks for coming out.
Glad you're here. Coach
Fired
Watson's just living the dream on vacation.
Man, on vacation. The week after the week off. That's what the boss gets to do, though.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
That's the best time to do it.
that's what happens when you're in charge.
It's a Kevin Hill special is what that is.
Shoot.
Well, Coach, if you will, just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do over at Pinewood.
JP Padilla from Statesboro, Georgia, born and raised. This is my second year at Pinewood. Last year was my first. And I teach Algebra 1, 7th and 8th graders, man. We have a party every day.
Sounds
getting
terrible.
some math done. See, a lot of people say that, but
Well, I've taught math or tried to, and it wasn't good for me or the
math
students.
is
Especially
you got
7th and 8th graders.
you got to find a way to have fun every day with math because it ain't fun every day.
Right.
And if I'm not having fun, they're not having fun. So
That's right.
we just try to get it done.
Well, Coach, tell us kind of what this summer's looked like for you guys. I know June and July are the preseason. You know, what have you guys been doing so far this summer?
Oh, man, it's been a good summer. Good participation. We got a lot of kids going to camps. Haven't thrown a whole lot of 7-on-7 quarterbacks coming back. But we're getting a lot of reps in every day. Every day. I mean, we're running. I mean, there might not be a team that runs more than us in the summer. We run the pee out of those kids.
Well, it's kind of like we just talked to Coach Sitsman a while ago. You know, at private schools, a lot of times you have smaller numbers, so those guys are probably having to play a lot. Special teams, offense, defense.
Oh, yeah. We'll have about 35, 36, and 12 or 13 seniors, and they're going to carry the load for us.
I feel like that's a big senior class.
That's a huge senior class.
Yeah.
That's a big time senior class. Yeah.
So you had a lot of returns from last year.
Yep. We only graduated 4 last year, and one of them got hurt. Game 2 was out for the season, so we really only graduated 3.
So are you
returning starters? All starters?
2 of them were starters. One of them was kind of a filler player, but we're returning 7 or 8 starters on both sides.
So are you calling state championship right now? Is that what you're?
No, absolutely not.
That's what I heard.
That's kind of where I was going with
I'm
that.
pretty sure that's what they heard too. They definitely heard
I
that.
will not be the guy that
May
does
we
that.
quote you on that?
No, sir.
No,
sir. Not me. Not me. I think Kevin Hill said that at some point.
He quotes a lot. He's politicking right now. That's what he does.
Well, you
I
can't
know.
trust Coach Hill. He cheats at golf, so you don't really know what you're gonna get out
I
of him.
played golf with him, and he was when he gets those clubs that are all hybrids.
And he hits off the ladies' tees.
Man, yeah, I know. Scoots
He
all
will
the
hit
way
off
up.
ladies' tees.
He's an older
I'm
man.
telling
He
you.
gets to hit off the
And he'll tell you about it too. He'll say, "Yeah, I'm old. I got to come up here to these front tees."
I've seen him pull a foot wedge out here and there.
Now let's
Coach-
not get going on cheat. Hold on. Let's not get going on cheating golf now. All right.
That's the rules interpretation is what that is.
Well, Coach, tell us some of those returning starters. Who are you guys expecting some big things out of this year?
Quarterback Banks Booth. He'll be an upcoming junior. So he was only sophomore last year. That was good. All of our skill guys are back. Jake Rogers, senior. Number 2, Walker Todd, senior. Both had 40-plus catches. Both had right at 1,000 yards. Walker Todd had, I think, 1,100. Close to 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Jake Rogers, close to 1,000 yards, about 8 touchdowns. Caden Arnold, Avery Beasley coming back, Will Wasson coming back, Coach Wasson's son inside. We got some talent.
I feel like there's a Watson in there like all the time.
Oh, and there's a young one too, and he might be the baddest of them all.
Well, Roger, you want to talk to him a little bit about scheme?
That's what I was hearing. You said you got 2 guys that had 40 receptions.
Yeah, 40 and 40 plus catches.
Slinging that pillow around a little bit.
Oh, we sling it now. We sling it. You want to come watch us throw the football? You can come.
A little like doubles, trips, just everything.
Dubs, trips. I mean, we run diamonds sometimes. I mean, when we got a quarterback that can throw it like ours, we'll throw it anywhere, everywhere we can.
Got it. I like it. What about defensively?
Defensive, old school 4-4. I mean, I learned from
cover 3, huh?
4-4 cover 3, that country 3. I learned from Steve Pennington, who was at Statesboro High for a long time. He was a guy that I worked for a couple of years that I learned a lot from, and Coach Watson and Buck Cravey and all those guys have been 4-4 cover 3 for forever. So I've just kind of taken bits and pieces and put it all together into one big scheme, and that's what it is.
I like it.
Good deal.
This is your first year as defense coordinator, right?
First year calling the defense. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I'm excited.
No
now,
pressure.
he's a former defensive coordinator himself at Toombs County Middle School.
Toombs Middle.
Toombs Middle.
He was the head.
And
they had a banner, didn't they? Y'all hung a banner, right?
Yeah, it was the worst season in Toombs Middle School history. We were 0-7.
Not even close. Not even close to winning a game.
Didn't come close to winning a game?
The last game we were close.
The last game was close.
It really depends on what you define.
It wasn't because of athletes.
It was coaching.
I want to know,
It's
did we give up more points?
We were scoring. I was the OC. We were scoring pile of points. We just could not stop anybody.
So the defense was horrible.
That's fair.
That's every defense coordinator's worst nightmares when you score and you can't stop nobody.
He couldn't. We. It was weak. But
they average, put up about 12 points a game. So they're just absolutely good.
Coach, who are some tough teams when you look at your schedule? Maybe who are some tough teams, and then who is your rival?
Oh, gosh. Our schedule's pretty tough from top to bottom. We start with Robert Toombs, and they got athletes everywhere. That's a rival for Pinewood, I know. Vidalia is on the schedule. Savannah Country Day is on the schedule. John Millage is on the schedule. They've won 50 in a row.
Good gracious.
Mount DeSales out of Macon's good. FPD out of Macon's got a 4-star quarterback going to Syracuse. They're good. Our region, Frederica's really good, and Bullock and Statesboro, they're good. That's a big rivalry game, a lot of emotion in that one. But I would say Robert Toombs and Bullock are our 2 big rivals.
When do you guys open up? Do you know off the top of your head how soon?
The 11th? Is that
August
11th? 17th.
Okay.
On a Thursday here in Lyons.
if you had to pick one game to win between Robert Toombs and Vidalia, if you could beat Vidalia or Robert Toombs,
to beat Robert Toombs or Vidalia,
which would you pick?
See, that feels like a Coach Watson question. That feels like something we need to call the boss man on. I ain't doing that.
This is your personal.
Yeah, I can call him. He ain't gonna answer, but I can call him.
I'll text him later.
Yeah, call.
But
Coach, we need to know, and we need you to be serious about this. Okay.
All right.
We need to know who the worst coach on staff is.
Does Kevin Hill count?
He's no longer retired.
He's retired.
The good thing for you is whoever it is probably not going to hear this.
Your least favorite person to work with. Like I worked with Hightower for years. And
we're still currently working together.
We're still working together.
I don't think we have
my least favorite person.
Listen, we got a lot of characters. Everybody's got their own personality. Coach Watson does not like change at all. We're going to do it the way we've been doing it for 30 years. Garrett Blackston is about as anal of stuff. The bag's got to be on a certain way on the gator getting to the practice field. Can't touch that. Well, thanks, Grandpa. He's me and him sit together in the mornings.
Now,
and
Garrett coaches wrestling. Does he still coach wrestling?
Do what?
Is that?
Yeah, Garrett coaches wrestling.
Yeah, Garrett Blackston.
Yeah. Is he still coaching wrestling?
Yeah, he coaches wrestling still.
Have you ever seen the TV show Coach?
Do what?
The TV show Coach. Garrett looks just like Dauber on the TV show Coach.
Garrett is. There's nobody else like Garrett Blackston. He's an awesome O-line coach, awesome dad, awesome husband. But dang, if you get in his way and he's doing something in a way that you don't like or he doesn't like, there's Matt. It's terrible. If the towels aren't folded the right way, if the water bottles aren't clean.
So he's your least favorite.
What I'm hearing is Garrett's the answer.
That sounds like
Garrett's least favorite is what I heard.
You said that, not me. You said that.
There was no denial.
Well, he was backpedaling for the
I
longest.
love Garrett. Garrett, if you end up seeing this somehow,
we'll send it to him. We'll send it to him.
Coach,
he's our number one listener.
Who, Garrett?
Yeah, he's on there.
I'd heard him talk about it a couple times.
We go way back.
While we're sitting here, before you get off, we have a trivia question that we've got some gear to give away up here for anybody in here, mainly going to be you Pinewood folks. We want to know what Pinewood Christian Academy alum, is currently, and you can't answer this.
Okay.
Is currently a coach at West Lawrence High School where we all work. So the first one to come up here and answer that, we'll get a nice little prize. So think on that a little bit. We'll determine the prize when they come.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I know that.
Coach, while they're thinking about that, we're going to ask every coach this. Just when you look up here,
all right.
You know, you're probably slightly intimidated by one of us up here.
At least one, yeah.
At least one. It's the guy with the mullet over here, Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen.
You know, he's the biggest, the strongest.
Not the guy that weighs 330 down there, but me.
He's the biggest, strongest, fastest guy we got, and he's in the prime of his life.
Okay.
So, your best player, who would you say is not your best, your most physical, tough player you got on your team?
I'd probably say senior tackle Bryce Burke.
Okay.
Bryce Burke.
Can you give a size and weight?
Bryce Burke's probably 6'1", about 240, 250.
Well, it sounds a lot like Hightower. Sounds a lot
I'm
like
5'11",
So,
about 5'11",
so my
240.
question is, and you can be
Hightower,
honest. Be honest here, okay?
Yeah.
He's lined up at which right tackle,
Yeah.
whichever one he plays, and height right here is coming off the end.
Just one rep.
Coming off
That's
the
all I
end.
got.
One-on-one. We're talking one-on-one here?
One-on-one.
Yeah.
Are we talking about bull rush? Are we doing board drills? What are we doing?
Well, I got
Let's
a
go
lot of
both.
lot
It don't
of
matter.
I got a lot of moves in the bag.
Listen,
I can't tell you which one
I'm taking
using.
Bryce Burke 11 times out of
Roger,
10.
who you taking?
I'm taking height. You ain't never seen this guy athletic ability.
Y'all ain't never seen Bryce Burke play now. Bryce Burke get after it.
Does he have a mullet like this?
No, but he wish he could.
Okay.
I've
wish he could.
never seen Burke. I'm taking Burke.
Listen,
I'm taking Burke.
all I
I've
can
never seen-
imagine is a
never
Revo
seen him.
speed helmet with Height's freaking
Smart
Mullet
money's
coming out
on
the back
Burke.
right
Smart
there,
money's
man.
on Burke.
I
taking
bet you.
No, Bryce is a dog. I don't know.
Money's on Burke.
I don't know.
I don't know him, but I know me, so money's on Burke.
Listen, he's got good
That's
wide
one of your
base.
next-
I don't
one of your
know.
songs,
Just
ain't it?
most humble. Most humble.
Parker Gordon is.
There it is.
Let's
Hey, that's
Nice.
Parker Gordon is next. So let's see.
What we get?
Oh, my round of applause ain't working.
This one?
Can you hear that?
Yeah, we're gonna give him courtesy of T98. This is a $25 gift card donated by David and Mandy Johnson from T98. They've got some good gear you can go in there and get. Congratulations. Parker
job.
would be proud.
Good job, Booty.
Parker would be
job.
very proud.
Former two-sport athlete at
Stud.
Pinewood.
Parker Gordon.
Parker Gordon. He's got red hair.
Well,
I think I knew his brother.
Stud.
You probably do.
I don't know.
Most people know him now. He's a legend. Well, Coach, we wish you guys the best this year. We appreciate you coming by, man. This is fun for us. We plan on making it a yearly thing, hopefully, and we appreciate your time. We're going to follow you guys. If you ever need anything from the Big Ugly Sports team, you know where to find us.
Absolutely.
We might show up at your rival game. You never know.
Listen, we play on a Thursday night here in Lyons, first game of the season. So y'all come on out.
Who y'all playing?
Robert Toombs.
Oh, we might have to come.
Robert
Might have to
Toombs
bring
on
the Big Ugly
a
Sports
Thursday
team down
night.
there.
Kevin Hill will be there.
Kevin will definitely be there.
Kevin will be there.
Well, Coach, before you get off, you got to do what everybody does right here. You've got to say, "Get on that bus, Bert," and you got to mean it. You got to have something
some
behind it.
into
Do you
it,
need an
Coach.
example or no?
Yeah, give me
Roger,
one.
give me one.
Get on
Loud.
that bus.
Just got to get on that bus. Bert.
There we go.
Nice.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you,
thanks,
man.
Appreciate you, man.
What's that?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hardware Pizza. We are the Big Ugly Sports Show. We are glad to be here. Again, thank you to Hardware Pizza for having us. This is our first time doing the preseason coaches show. We're excited, have low expectations because that's the only ones we can fulfill. At this time, we're going to bring up Coach Ike Ferrell, Tattnall County head football coach. Coach, come on up and join us.
Georgia Southern alum,
Georgia Southern alum.
varsity letterman.
Let's hope we don't have any mic interference when you turn that on.
War Eagle.
Is it turned on?
Is it
Yes.
War Eagle?
That's at Georgia Southern
Oh,
degree.
yeah, we good now.
There you go.
We good.
Put it together right there for you.
All right, Coach, for those out here maybe that don't know a lot about you, just tell kind of who you are. Obviously, you're the head football coach over at Tattnall. I know you've been at Toombs. Just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been all over the state of Georgia. This is my 28th year coaching high school football. Did 2 years at Georgia Southern. Coached at Peach County, Thomasville, Cairo, head coach at Lithia Springs, and go on and on. But I was at Toombs County for 6 years. Great place, good place to work. Met some good people. Now I'm at Tattnall, some great people. So it's been really good for me.
Well, good. Go ahead, Ike.
No, I was just going to say, Coach, thanks for coming, and I was going to just kind of pick your brain a little bit. How summer's going for y'all? Y'all throwing some 7-on-7 stuff? Or?
Yeah, summer's been really, really good here in January. Attendance has been great. We did an OTA over at Burke County with Burke County and Thompson. We got the kids to really, really, really buying into what we're doing. I'm super, super excited about this football season. I've been telling them that. I told them that this morning, and it's going to be special.
Yeah, and I know we were speaking earlier off mic, and you were just talking about y'all been in the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Correct.
And how's that? And like I said, I know it's hard to predict, but is this something that you think you can sustain, like this year?
Yeah. What I try to get our kids to understand is we gotta get a mindset of getting out of the first round. We've gotten to the point that we can get in the playoffs. Let's get outside the first round, and to get in the playoffs at our region is pretty good. It's we call it the baby SEC. You got Appleton County, Pierce County, Toombs, Vidalia, and Brantley County can slide one in there on you at any time.
Right.
And Windsor Forest is always going to be very athletic. So you don't have a Friday to where you can take a break. It's high level football at all times.
So, Coach, I'm gonna ask you. We talked about Appleton kind of earlier on. We know Appleton was one of the best teams in the state last year. They got guys all across the defensive line. So when y'all get ready to play them, how do y'all kind of scheme for them? Like, what weaknesses are you looking for? Things like that.
Well, we're a shotgun wing football team, so we can distribute the football to anybody at any time. We try to take their weaknesses is just. You got to catch them maybe getting tired or something, because they're huge. Their defensive line might be as big as anybody I have seen, and they're a well-coached football team. And we gave them all they wanted. At the halftime, I think they were up 7-0 at the half. They finally cut loose right there. We went for it like on the fourth down, didn't make it. If we convert the fourth down, we give ourselves a chance at the end of the game. But they're a great football team, very athletic. The quarterback has been offered by Tennessee to play baseball. They got a running back offered by South Carolina. Their defensive line looked like Georgia Southern. So as far as weaknesses go, we try to pride ourselves playing fast, being relentless, play physical, just do the little things better than they do, and then that'll give us a chance.
I know at West, we scrimmaged them this year. Our football team did, this past spring right here, and that's all they talked about every time. First off, how physical they were on defense, and he said every time we had any sort of penalty that put us behind the chains, we might as well punt. He said because you just can't. You can't have self-inflicted wounds and beat a team like that. They have defensive ends catching running backs. They're a good football team, and I think they're gonna have a chance. I think the GHSA rankings came out; they were ranked number 1, and Thompson was 2. And you sit there and you look at the top 20, and 3 of them come out of our region. Really 4 because you had Vidalia and Toombs in it. Coach, tell us some guys for the Tattnall County fans to be looking that you're expecting to really step up this year and do things for you.
We got some guys that have already stepped up. Probably one of our top guys, Xavier Friendly, has got a few offers, some Division I offers all over, Georgia Southern, FAU, South Florida. A lot of them are off him for snapping, but then they're looking at him also because he's so athletic and big. He's like a freak of nature, you ask me. He's just one of them kids that's got all the genes and everything going in the right direction. Then we got Greg Edwards. We call him the big monster, big defensive lineman. He's hard to stop. He comes off the ball with a lot of, just relentless. Two very, very good football players. Now we have a minimum of seniors. We don't have a lot. We don't think we got like 5 or 6 seniors. We had 13 seniors last year.
Oh wow!
So out of those 13 seniors from last year, 12 of them playing. So we lose those 13, and so we had a sophomore class that I feel like is going to be very, very phenomenal. Trey Rogers, Tristan Williams, those kids they have a different mindset, and they have a different way they go about their business. They're all business, and they proved it this morning. And it's like I said, as we go closer, and it's what's crazy is that it seems like the season and the school year just continues to back up. We play in about 25 days.
Yeah.
Teachers go back to school on July 24th.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have time for for any play, especially playing in this region. And we have our big jamboree against Johnson County and Bryan. And Bryan County is smoking. I mean, they're predicted to win that region over there, believe it or not.
So y'all do that like an old school jamboree? They come over, you play both teams in the same?
We're going to do an old school on a Thursday night.
You don't see that a whole lot anymore.
Yeah. It's going to be, we're going to play a half against Johnson and a half against Bryan County.
We did that at West Lawrence my freshman or sophomore year. We played Washington County back when they were lead to give Springs. like they dominated us. You only play them for like a quarter?
Yeah. Well, half. So we're going to break it up where Johnson County will start first. So they'll play a half against Bryan, and then we'll play a half against Johnson. So then Johnson will be done. So that's their full game.
That's right.
So then us and Bryan will play for a half, and then that'll make our full game. So now you'll end up playing a full game, but you'll just play a half with each one of those teams.
Now, where y'all playing that at?
That's in Tattnall. On a Thursday night, I think it's the second week of August.
Okay.
So I got a question for you, Coach. Obviously, you got to play. You played at Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Played at D1 level. So how, if you're talking to your kids that's going to the next level, talk about like how has recruiting changed for you when you went through to now? How these guys that are going to the next level, how has it changed? How has it evolved?
The recruiting back when I was being recruited, if you were good enough to play, they were gonna find you.
Right.
Now you have so much social media. You got so much DM stuff going on. And what I found out is a lot of kids, they want to be recruited. Everybody want to be recruited till it's time to go to work. Yeah. So sometimes you got to understand, don't get caught up in the pageantry of the being recruited. Because understand, once you get recruited, then once you get them there, then
you still got to perform.
You still got to go to work.
Yeah, I saw something on social media. A guy had posted. It was a 1 day schedule of a college football player.
Yeah.
And it was from about 6 a.m. till like 10 p.m. or something. And it was.
So you can
crazy.
imagine that schedule now, because a kid on the Division I level now is only allowed 20 hours. People don't realize he's only allowed 20 hours of work from Monday, and that's including Saturday game.
That's right.
So now they have to chop it up. They do a lot of meeting times. They do a lot of weight room time, because you can only occupy him for 20 hours out of the week. Back when I was coming up at Georgia Southern, we occupied all my time. It wasn't no 20 hours
there
a
were no
week.
rules on it.
Y'all were in the dorm right by the practice.
Yeah. We was at Dorman Hall, so you got to take a break. You go to Dorman, you go eat, you walk to Eagle Creek. And we had to walk all the way to Eagle Creek and then walk back. So, it's the recruiting process. It is what it is. If you're a good enough football player, they'll find you. It doesn't matter. If you can play, you can play. If you can't, you can't.
That's right.
But when they get there, you got to perform.
You got to perform. You got to perform.
Get them there is.
And I think some kids, you got to understand that there's nothing wrong with playing Division II, NAIA, Division III. Everybody's not a Division I. I got a cousin right now committed to LSU. He decommitted from LSU last week and just committed to North Carolina. Well, why would he do that? Well, NILs.
Yeah. It's definitely changed it.
Right.
It's changed the whole platform of who can. So now what you're getting more people thirsty for it. But what are you thirsty for?
Yeah.
That's right. Well, Coach, when you look at your schedule, do you have a rival? Do you guys have a big one particular team or a couple teams that?
Probably the big. I guess we play Claxton our first. That's always a big game for us.
That's right down the road.
They're right down the road. Yeah. That's been a big game for us. I'll be honest with you, and this is what I love about playing in this region is every Friday night packed on everybody to play. When we played Toombs County, you couldn't get in there. We played Vidalia, you couldn't get in there. And the Pierce and the Applins. So you're playing in a big arena, and I think that's what also prepares our kids to play on that, because they're playing in a big arena, playing against that caliber of athlete. And so I feel like, as far as rivalry go, I would probably say Claxton, I guess.
But it sounds like y'all have a fun region. Just because everybody's not. I don't know everybody's schedule off the top of my head, but everybody seems pretty fair as far as you're going to win. Everybody's winning some games.
Oh yeah. Everybody's going. You got a chance to win some games.
And everybody's kind of knocking each other off. Right. At any given time, and that just makes for fun high school football.
Yeah, and then like I said, you sitting at Applin and Pierce, those are the dudes everybody gunning for. Pierce, Coach Herring does a heck of a job over there at Pierce County, and me and him, good friends. And like I said, anytime you got Vidalia, and you sitting there with Coach Garvin coming back, I'm pretty sure we ain't teeing it. They're gonna be more fat. They're gonna be fast. They're gonna be physical. Coach Martin, he ain't gonna stop doing what he doing. Him and Coach Marsh. When I was here, Toombs County gonna be Toombs County, and Toombs County is rich in tradition. They're rich in doing, and playing high school football.
Well, Coach, a lot of people have said that one of the reasons they're rich in tradition was back when you were here. Coach Hightower was the middle school coach down at Toombs Middle, and I was the D coordinator. We went 0-7.
We really set the standard. Yeah, 0-7.
And what's crazy is they ended up that class actually ended up having a good.
Was that early?
They were late developers. That
was what was the real
Brandon Usher and that whole crew.
Yeah. Brandon Chandler Lynn.
Yep.
We
didn't have Chandler.
We didn't do a lot of X's and O's stuff, but the one thing I will say that we actually did good, we started a summer weightlifting program. And I don't know if
we got to find our win somewhere.
We got to get a W in there.
I just remembered something else we did. We did inventory. It's like nobody ever done inventory on the middle school equipment before. We did inventory and started a weightlifting program.
That was when Coach Guy was here.
Yep. And some now just some have said that's really when Toombs took off. After
they went to a whole nother 0-7.
Yeah, catapulted right on up.
That was the most I ever got paid to win 0.
Well, Coach, man, we really appreciate your time, and I know you want something like this. You want notoriety down here, and we have our platform's not real big yet. We're trying to grow it, but we appreciate you doing this. We want to make this something we regularly do. We look forward to keeping up with you guys this year, maybe getting an interview throughout the season with you, a phone interview at some point. But yeah, man, we're glad you could be here.
I appreciate you guys having Tattnall County over, and I think this is a great platform for coaches, kids. I'm hoping that it grows. Anything I can do to help you guys, to help it to grow, I'm here and willing to put it out there for you. I appreciate you having us, and look forward to doing it again.
Well, before you get off, Coach, we got to hear the slogan. Raji, give it to him one time.
Got to get on that bus.
That's what you got to do. Let's hear it, Coach. It's right there on the front. Get on that bus.
Get on that bus.
And you got to put something into it, a little something behind it.
Into the Burt.
Get on that bus.
Yes, sir.
Coach, we appreciate you, man.
Yes,
Thank you so much. We want to welcome up for the next segment Coach Matt Meeks from Robert Toombs Christian Academy. Coach, come on in. Give him a little. See if I can't give him a little applause right there.
We got about 5, 6, 7.
There we go. Got a little following in here.
Yeah, a little bit. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, man. Coach, we're glad to have you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. If you will, for those like myself that don't really know you, if you will, just kind of tell us a little bit about who you are, how long you've been at Robert Toombs, how long you've been a head coach there, and just kind of a little bit about you.
Yep, no problem. So, Matthew Meeks, born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. Went to Calvary Day School, graduated from there in 2001. Went and played a little bit of football at Valdosta State, then transferred to Georgia Southern, finished up there, got my degree in kinesiology, athletic training, fell in love with coaching though, so then ever since then been a coach. So that was 05 to now. First year head football coach, have been a head soccer coach since, 06, 07, then had to dabble into basketball a little bit. This is going on to year 4 here at Robert Toombs. Year 1 as the head football coach.
Okay. Well, Coach, tell us a little bit about what your summers look like so far. I know summers, June and July for football are often busy. What have you guys kind of done this summer to prepare for the season?
For us, our guys are super busy. They're all multi-sport athletes. So for the month of June, they've pretty much just been working out and weightlifting for us football-wise. A lot of them have been doing baseball stuff and doing basketball stuff as well. So they have been super busy. So I want to keep them hungry on football. So I tried to limit their true football amount of time with us to where now coming in, starting tomorrow, we'll be locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah, I imagine it's hard on a lot of those guys, especially as we said earlier with the smaller schools. Those guys are playing basketball, football, all these things that are also playing in the summer. So have you seen good results from not burning them out so much with football this early?
So far, yes. We'll obviously tell a little bit more at the end of July and into August. But hopefully the excitement of the season right around the corner is going to give them a little more than, hopefully we're not going to burn out too quick. Because we're hoping to have a good long season, playing into Mercer, hopefully the 1st of December. So, we'll trying to take that into account and, say, hey, we're not going to burn out come September. So we want to still be ready.
So, do you do a lot of install in June, or is it more just conditioning, or kind of what is it?
So it's truly weightlifting and conditioning. The idea is hopefully most of our guys have already been with us, so they should know most of our system. We've got a new defensive coordinator, so he had time to get with them on some defensive stuff to install that. But like I said, we'll lock and load in on that starting tomorrow.
So, talking on that, so offensively, defensively, what do you guys do?
So offensively, I call it the spread. I'm a triple option guy. Georgia Southern, love watching Paul Johnson run it there. So I'm a spread 4 wide, but we're reading somebody almost every play.
Kind of like Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, Oregon, kind of that. We're going to try to spread you out with athletes, but we've got the ability to go catch the football too.
Right.
So it's who you going to defend, you got to pick your poison, I feel, against us.
That's right. What about defensively?
So defensively, 4-4. We're going to be, hopefully sound up front, be big. We got some pretty big kids, gap savvy, gap sound, and then fly around behind them. Put guys to where they don't have to think as much and let's just go play football.
So there's not a whole lot of slanting, things like that?
No, yeah, we'll be active up front, again, try to make sure guys can't just, hey, he's in a 2 technique and that's where he's going to stay. We'll try to move you around, try to be multiple there, but again, the biggest thing is we want to be sound. Make sure which gap you've got, where your job is, and then trust the guy next to you to do his job.
Coach, can you tell us some guys on your team? High school kids love to hear their names, called. So, and this is really one of my favorite portions when we get to talk to a coach about, the guys. I don't know, 3 or 4 defensive guys, 3 or 4 offensive guys, whatever. Some guys that you got coming back that you're excited about what they're bringing to the table for you this season.
Right. Well, so fortunately for us, offensive and defensive guys are pretty much the same. We on a roster of about 25 kids, where I feel in our school 32, 33 would kind of probably be the max roster we'd have.
Yeah.
But we've got 25, 26 kids, 11 senior kids. We graduated 3 from last season. And so through this summer, we've now got 11 seniors. We've got Trip Durden in the house right now. He's a receiver, linebacker guy that, is able to make plays, able to make tackles, big physical body.
Trip Durden right here.
Trip,
he's already won a prize.
Pretty hair. Then we got Devin Coward sitting near him, who's going to be another guy coming in, playing offensive, defensive line for us. Looking forward to him being a big, strong, physical body for us. Then we've got returning guys. Aaron Hankerson is lightning in a bottle. The kid is a 4.4, every day of the week, runs the 100 and 200 in track, state champion in that. And just is lightning and electric when he gets the ball. We've also got a guy, David Hill, coming in, who is very, very, very similar to him, but is even bigger, but still can run the ball and is strong and physical. And then we've got lineman Gage Brantley, is a returning sophomore, upcoming junior. So he's going to be a guy hopefully helping us anchor our line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. And just guys that were big pieces last year in a state championship run, and hopefully going to be the cogs to help us get us there again this year.
So, Coach, there's most people, they don't really understand what the Monday through Thursday looks like. Right. So, kind of talk us through what your schedule looks like Monday, going up into game week. So,
for us, to me, our heavy work days are Monday, Tuesdays. Because of, again, just multi-sport athletes, guys that are on both sides of the ball. Our job as coaching staff is to have our plan in Sunday afternoon, to where we come into practice Monday and we know, hey, here's what we're going to be looking to do. Here's how we've scouted them, but I'm not going to lie. I still watch film all through the week, and something comes up on a Wednesday and I'm just kind of like, oh man, hey, here's something I think we could really, really look at. But if I didn't see that and really practice it Monday, Tuesday, by Wednesday, Thursday, it might be a little late. But we're going to practice heavy Monday, Tuesday in pads, truly go through, get the physicalness back ready, and then Wednesday, Thursday, dial it back, go half shell, just helmets and shoulder pads on Wednesday probably, and then Thursday is a helmets only kind of, we call it a perfect practice, not a walkthrough, because we our guys, and the word walkthrough tends to be a bad combination of we're going to walk and we're going to be kind of lazy. I don't want that. I want them to be crisp, clean. Everything that we installed and worked on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday should now just be buttoning everything up, crossing the T's and dotting the I's on Thursday, and ready and focused to play the game on Friday. Because that's when the game's won.
Right.
The game's won Monday through Thursday. Right. Friday it's Jimmy's and Joe's and X's and O's, but your preparation Monday through Thursday is what does it.
So who's your team to beat this year? Like region-wise, who's the team you have to get?
So region for us is three of us. There's three teams. There's us, there's Thomas Jefferson, and there's Memorial. For the past 4 years, Thomas Jefferson's been the team to beat. They are 4-time state champions. I was there for their first state championship, and then they've been able to win the previous 3 following that. Fortunately for us, they graduated 13 seniors and then ended up losing their quarterback and running back. So I feel we're the team to beat in our region. I feel we're the team that teams have got to look for and come after.
Who would you say is your biggest rival? If outside of the region, local guys, local
I feel like
teams?
I know the answer.
Rival. You got Pinewood in the house. They're a rival. But the problem is it's different kind of from sport to sport. There's I don't know who you thinking. What you going with?
I was thinking Pinewood.
Pinewood is definitely an inner rivalry.
Dare to make a prediction.
Luckily, they're AAA. We're single A, so it's kind of but it's still bragging rights, obviously.
Dare to make a prediction.
They got a kid in here that can sling the ball, and they got a pretty dangerous kid out here. So I don't know about that.
So do you play Vidalia or Toombs or anything like that? And Pinewood said they play. Okay. If you had to pick one school to beat, one local school to beat, who would you like? You'd rather beat them than eat breakfast type situation.
For me personally, it'd be Toombs County.
Okay.
You'd love to beat either one of them if you had to play them, but if I had to pick one of them, I'd say Toombs County would be for me.
Appreciate you. Some folks don't want to step up to that question, but I appreciate you doing that.
It is what it is.
It's a battle of the Toombs.
Right, that's right.
That's been that way for way back.
Yep.
Way back when I was here. Well, Coach, when do you guys open up, and who do you open up with?
So we'll open up Thursday, August 17th with Pinewood. That's right. That'll be a Game 1 rematch from last year that was a knockdown, drag-out, 4-round battle. All 4 quarters, and Pinewood got the better end of it last year. We're hoping to fix that this year.
All right. Well, Coach, we plan on keeping up with you this year. We may even make a trip down. We would like to follow you guys. We wish you guys the best. If you ever need anything from us, not that you would ever need anything from us, but if you do.
But we're going to throw that out there anyway.
Yeah, you never know. There's always something, maybe.
But if you, some people need mediocre people in their life, and that's what we provide.
We can fit that role.
But Coach, we wish you the best, man. Before you get off, you got to do what every other coach has done so far. We need the slogan. Raji's got your example here.
Gotcha.
You got to get on that bus.
Put something behind it.
There you go. Get on that bus.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to go on to the 7 o'clock segment. I don't know if you can hear us tonight, but we'd like to bring up Coach Rodney Garvin from Vidalia. My dad's talking to him. Kevin Hill.
Yeah, shut that gate.
Kevin Hill, we need you to be quiet. We need Coach Garvin, please.
He's keeping him busy.
Coach Garvin in the house.
Dimensions.
You probably should have put a war chant out for him.
Hand the mic, Ron.
Do you have a war chant?
Do they do the same thing as Florida
Coach, you
State?
may want to slide that way a little bit to get out that sun. It's going to beam on you. If not, we're back here
pretty
baking.
rough. I'm sweating.
How's that? So we got Coach Rodney Garvin joining us today, Vidalia High School's head football coach. Coach, we appreciate you coming out to join us tonight.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
It's a big crowd, and everybody's having a good time.
That's right. Good spot to eat. Coach, if you will, for those in here that may not know who you are and those on YouTube that are watching, just tell us a little bit about where you're from. I know you've been at Vidalia and now you're back. Just kind of tell us a little bit of your journey, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm originally from Jenkins County, down in the big town of Millen, Georgia.
Big Millen.
And my wife is here with me. That's where she's from. We both graduated from down there, and When I left high school, went to the University of Georgia. Graduated there in 1987 with a degree in agriculture. And never used it, but got a degree. And worked. I worked in private sector for a while out of college. And went into what they call now the TAP program, but at the time it was teacher certification, because I wanted to coach football. I was doing recreation football at home. I was community coaching at home. I was volunteering on Friday nights just to be around the football program and be around football, and I missed it so bad I said I got to go back to school and do this for a living. So did that, and going into year 28 now. Been doing it for a good while, and it's been good for me and my family.
And Coach, you've been at Meta the last few years, correct? Mm-hmm. And you were at Vidalia previously?
Yep, I was in Vidalia from 07 till 2017, and then took the Meta head job and was head coach there for the last 5 years, and had a good run over there. And this job came open and created an opportunity, and it was pretty good. So.
Well, Coach, if you will, just tell us kind of, we know that the summers are difficult and it's the preseason. What does this summer look like for you guys so far in June? Like, what are you guys doing just to get ready for the season?
Dodging lightning.
That heat bulb will get you one.
I don't think it could have rained any harder on us this morning. We work special teams a lot since you don't have pads on, things that maybe some people overlook. We work on those things pretty hard every day and work our passing game, which people say we don't have one, but we work on it anyhow. And 7-on-7, those types of things, and it's just fundamentals every day, and just trying to ingrain a culture back into the program that we want them to have. And lifting weights, we just do the same things I'm sure most people do, and just try to do it intensely, I guess you could say.
Right. Well, Coach, I know I'm not from Toombs County, Vidalia area, but I remember I went to Bleckley, so we used to be in Vidalia's region, and I always remember Vidalia being a wing T team. I know the last couple of years, I think they've been a more spread type deal. So kind of schematically, kind of talk about what you guys are going to do this year, like what we need to expect.
Yeah, we're, if we had a 6'4" gunslinger, we'd probably do something a little different. But that's not what I believe in. I believe you got to run the football to win in high school, and I believe you got to be able to stop the run to win in high school. And I just believe in the wing T. I've been around it for a long time. I guess I coached for probably one of the best wing T coaches in the state of Georgia, a guy named Luther Welch up in Thompson. I coached in Thompson there in the early 2000s, and it was a powerhouse. And, Coach Welch ran that, so I got to really be around him, and I believe in it. That's what we believe in, and it's a winning offense. It's a proven offense that can win. Like anything, you got to have players. If you don't have players, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Us coaches can't out-scheme each other, even though we might get a lot of credit for it. It's about those kids out there playing, putting their hands in the ground.
That's right.
But we believe in the wing T. That's what we're installing year one. It's a big learning curve for these kids at Padilla. But at least around me, that and like they're buying into it. They may be doing them little Snapchats or whatever they do behind my back and hate it. But at the end of the day, they got to play it if they want to play football. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And, we're running our 50 defense that we've run forever. So.
Well, Coach, I just want to circle back. You said you graduated from University of Georgia. So I'm a UGA graduate, class of 07, so go Dogs. And so welcome back to Vidalia. I know you're excited. I know everybody's excited about being here. But, man, I'd really like to hear I'd like to hear some names, some kids that you think are going to be standout players for y'all this year.
Yeah, I hate to throw names out at this point, but through spring ball, when we had pads on, and that's, everybody has kids that look good in shorts, but you find out who they are when they have pads on. Through spring practice, the leadership of the team, Antonio Barron is probably our best player. If I had to say we have a best player, Antonio. And here's the great thing about Antonio Barron. I was up in the office about 6:15 one morning, middle of June, and I see a golf cart going out across our practice field, and our manager was out there, and Antonio Barron was with the manager getting dummies set up for practice for 8 o'clock.
That's big time.
I mean, that's a leader. When your best player is a worker and a guy like that, Antonio is. We got several seniors. I hate to single kids out besides Antonio, but Max Beverly, Sam Sapp, my quarterbacks, Jackson Berry and Tucker McDonald are battling in there. Carson Turner is doing a great job for us. So Marion Oglesby, Levi Palmer is working. Stephen Cheeks. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Is Sam going to play linebacker for y'all?
Sam's going to play linebacker for us. Yep, and we played him a little bit at running back as well in the spring. He's never run the ball before, and he had a pretty dang good run in the spring game. He's
a pretty athletic kid. I'm a wrestling coach, and so's Coach Lawhorn down there. We've seen him, and I've known him since he was a kid. His dad, Sam, is from our hometown, and
right.
We've been around him forever. But I know he's a good athlete, and he hadn't really committed to wrestling as far as high school, but even still, he's very successful as a wrestler just because he's hard-nosed and he's athletic. So I figured he'd translate to success on the football field as well.
Yeah, we have to – there's some kids you have to push into the fray. We have to grab him by the belt and pull him back because, sometimes he's just too aggressive instead of kind of looking at what he's supposed to look at. He's just kind of like an old bird dog, he's going. So we try to slow him down a little bit. Just a real aggressive kid, hard work in the weight room. I mean, he's a workout warrior in there.
I feel like that's a good problem to have, being too aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't put that in a kid.
Especially on defense.
Yeah.
He's a worker, and he's a young kid, too. He's not a senior. He's going to be a junior. We got 20 seniors who've been with us since day one, really. 15 rising juniors. I think 18 rising sophomores and 12 rising freshmen. And I'll let freshmen come out when school starts, and they can play junior varsity if they hadn't been with us all summer. So we're looking at around 65, 70 kids.
That's good. That's
playing football for us, and that's kind of what we've had between 55 and 65 every day this summer. So it's been good.
Coach,
go ahead. What you got?
You go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, how do you go about, obviously, Vidalia's really good at a lot of different sports. How do you go about sharing your guys during the month of June?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the biggest challenges I guess we had with me transitioning from Metter to over here was, Metter, there's not a lot going on. Basketball is not a real big sport in Metter, so we didn't have a lot of football players playing basketball over there. They had nothing else to do. We almost had 100% every day in Metter, which leads to being successful. Over here, out of 15 basketball players, 12 play football. And here's the way we work it. They're with me from 8 o'clock until about 11:30. And then they leave me, they go to basketball till like 1:30. The 3-sport guys leave there and go to baseball. So it is a full-time job for these kids that play 3 sports. Me and Coach Daly have worked really well with each other this summer, sharing kids. He'll say, hey, Coach, he gave me his calendar, and I think there were 6 days in June where they had play days out of town, or, I told the kids, go play basketball.
Well, as a former basketball coach, you don't get that everywhere,
deal.
I promise you.
Yeah,
even as a wrestling coach.
A lot of people get territorial during that time.
I tip my cap to you for that, Coach, because we've been around some guys who, for different reasons at different schools, have been, like you said, territorial and don't want to share. But, as a coach, you look at what's best interest of those children, and the best thing for them is to be able to be a little bit more diverse instead of just being one-track mind.
Absolutely. And wrestling, Coach Blunt does a good job with the wrestling program here. We got a lot of guys who wrestle. Go wrestle. Go June. If you can't be with us, now if you're going and sitting on the bench, at Wayne County in a basketball day, you might as well be with us. Yeah. But I know they're going to be competing and working while they're away from me, so we let them go. July, they know it's football. When we started today, it's football season.
Me and Blunt
they don't need to be going and doing too much else.
Me and Blunt talked about that at a Parkview tournament we were at. Is June and it's great that you got a coach that'll work with you, but we all understand, and Blunt's a football guy too. So he's an old school football guy, so he understands July's football. And I got him for June, and if you got somebody you can work with like that, that's perfect for all your sports.
Well, I mean, if I tell a kid, hey, you can't go do that in June, guess what? They may choose just to go do that all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. And, you know, I look back, I graduated high school in 1983, so I'm dating myself. I had to be on a job site construction at 7 in the morning, and I didn't get off until 4. And if it was like today, I would have made nobody happy. I wouldn't have made the football coach happy. I wouldn't have made my baseball coach happy because I had to work.
Right.
And so I try to work with kids. I still remember what it's like to be 16 years old, even though that was 41 years ago.
Coach, when you look at your schedule, we talked to Coach Ferrell a while ago about your guys' region, and it's tough. I mean, that's a tough region on paper. Just kind of what's your thoughts on that, you know, coming into this region and just the preparation stuff it's going to take week in and week out to compete in the region?
Oh, yeah. It's a very competitive region. You know, Windsor Forest is going to be super athletic. Brantley County is, from what I've seen, is very well coached, and they have some athletes too. You know, we got Tattnall County on a Thursday night. I know they have athletes. I saw their basketball team, which has a lot of football players on it, and they're going to be really tough. And Ike does a good job with those guys. Obviously, Pierce is really good. We played them when I was at Metter. Appling County, everybody knows Appling County is just kind of loaded with athletes and size and speed. And then Toombs County obviously is a really good football program. I got over and watched them play Charlton in the spring game and was very impressed with them. You know, Toombs everybody's going to be physical. Everybody's going to have some dudes that can win a ball game for them. So it's going to be the team that, you know, makes the least mistakes every Friday night and controls the ball, stops the run, those kinds of things. I don't think we had a lot of passing going on in our region from what I know about it. But if you can't stop the run, you're going to lose, bottom line. So, you know, all of our focus is going to be week to week, you know, not to lose the game, but how to win it. You know, how can we beat this team, and let's don't beat ourselves in that process.
Right. Let me ask you this, going back kind of more schematically. Would you, and you've been around the wing tee, like you said, a long time, would you rather be looking forward to an even front, an odd front? I mean, what would you prefer going against on the offensive side of the ball?
What would I prefer to see on the other side?
Yes, sir.
A really untalented offensive line. You know, people want to talk about, you know, the athletes and all that, but if you don't have the line of scrimmage, you don't have a prayer. And we were at a padded camp, actually, over in Dublin a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know who plays Wilcox County this year, but let me tell you, they were loaded. And they had a guy who's, you know, supposedly going to Florida State, maybe.
BJ Gibson.
But they had another guy
down there.
They had another guy over there who's 6'8". They had a 6'8" wide receiver on the other side of the field. But it was like I was telling Coach Ferrell about 20 minutes ago. Everybody was oohing and ahhing about those two guys. They had 25 kids between 5'11" and 6'2", who all weigh between 250 and 270, 280. And that's where you win at. It doesn't get enough credit for win at the line of scrimmage. So a team that doesn't have a really strong O-line, D-line, that's what you want to see. I don't think the scheme matters. I mean, I've been beaten by everything. I've been beaten by spread. I've been beaten by wing tee. I've been beaten by them all. But those teams that have those great lines of scrimmage, that's what you're going to struggle with.
Well, Coach, we've been asking every coach here who their biggest rival is. And, you know, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably Toombs County is your biggest rival. Is that fair to say?
I think everybody in here knows that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got a little taste of that. I used to teach at Toombs, teaching coach at Toombs, and
I won't hold it against you.
We're Georgia boys before we were.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
So anyway, I got my truck vandalized by some Vidalia kids because I had my Toombs paraphernalia flying. But anyway, so I know it's a really good rivalry, and it's really and truly is one of my favorite high school football rivalries. Just being down here and being in the middle of it and seeing it. So. I mean, you know, what do you see looking forward to the game? Is there any? I know it's early, but you know, can you just talk about the rivalry or shedding light on it or anything like that?
Well, I mean, the game speaks for itself. You know, you can throw the records out the window. I know that's cliche, but you can. And I've been a part of some good rivals as a coach in my career, but this one is unlike any other. I think sometimes the non-athletes take it a little bit too far. I really do in the community with some of the stuff that goes on. I wish that didn't happen. But the kids, as big of rivals as they are, I really think if they just got out there, they're probably pretty cool with each other at times. But it's just a fantastic atmosphere to play in. And, I mean, as a coach, it's the kind of game you want to. That's why you coach for games like that. Yeah. Not to take anything away from anybody else, but everybody needs a blood rival. And, and that's who Toombs is for us, and I'm sure that's who we are for them. Yeah. I know it was pretty ugly last year, but hopefully we can get things turned around and get it going back in our favor. I know the Toombs County folks in there don't want to hear that, but I get that. But I have nothing but respect for Toombs. Every year that we played, we came over here my first year in 2007 when Coach Stroud was the head coach here, and I don't think anybody gave us any chance of winning that football game, and we were on defense first, and Toombs County just drives it down, bip, and scores, and we block an extra point, and it's 6-0 at halftime, and our kids were really excited because I think they thought they were going to be down 24-0 at half. And I looked at Tavares Beecham. I said, we're going to win 7-6. You watch and see. And we ended up scoring late in the ball game. And Parker Fletcher, whose mom and dad may still be in here, Parker kicks. He's a sophomore. He kicked the extra. He had never made an extra point in a high school game. I think he was 0 for 13, and that's the truth. He was 0 for 13. I can't believe we didn't go for 2. But they were stuffing the run so well that I know we probably wouldn't have got 3 yards in that moment. And Coach sent him in, and Parker knocked it through. And we held for the last 30 seconds to win 7-6 our first year here. But 2 years later, Shane Williamson's the head coach over here, and good Lord, they were awesome. And they got us that year, but we had a lot of really good football games in between the years that I was here. Coach Martin, I know, was a part of, I think he may have gotten here 13 or 14 potentially, so we probably coached against each other 3 or 4 years in that span. And I'd never really formally met Coach until December. I went down right after I'd gotten hired, maybe the next week. They had an all-star game down in Brunswick, and Antonio Barron was playing in the all-star game, so I just wanted to go down and watch him practice. So I drive down, and the first person I meet in the parking lot, my truck wouldn't shut off. We kind of joked about it when I was rolling in. I could cut my truck off, and it still would run. So I had the keys out, my truck's running, and I walk over to a guy standing there. I didn't know it was Coach Martin. I said, have you ever seen a Chevrolet truck that won't cut off? I got one. You want it? And he kind of laughed and introduced himself, and we stood around and watched practice, and Coach Marsh was down there coaching in the all-star game, but I have a lot of respect for Toombs. Don't like them, want to beat them. I'm sure the feeling is mutual, but there's a lot of respect there.
Well, Coach, you've been around the game for a long time. So who would you say is the best coach team or the best team that you had to coach against over your tenure?
The best team that I've ever had to coach against, we talked about this in the field house the day before we left. It was probably the 2014 Greater Atlanta Christian team. Their quarterback starts in NFL now. The wide receiver starts in NFL now. Yep.
Davis Mills.
Yep. I think all 11 on offense signed, and maybe 9 of their 11 on their defense signed. Major college scholarships.
That's tough
that
to
was
beat.
Probably.
That's tough to beat.
Yeah, it is. It is, and we were a pretty good public school in 2014. Benedictine was good. We got them. They won the state that year, actually, and we got them down in Savannah, and that was a really good football team, too. Fitzgerald in 2012 was a really good football team. And this past year, Prince Avenue beat us in the quarterfinals, and they were really good. And I've just talked about 3 private schools right there. Fitzgerald's a public school, obviously, really good. So that's kind of the best ones that we've seen.
Well, Coach, I had the privilege to play in this rivalry many years ago, and I can honestly say there's nothing like it. And you speak of like I had 0 friends from Vidalia in high school. I mean, 0, not one. It was just right. And they didn't have any Toombs friends at the time, and now I've got, you know, hundreds of friends I feel like from Vidalia. So it's a mutual respect for sure. But you know, during that time, it's an enemy, and I look forward to that game. I try to come every year. Coach, we appreciate you coming out. We're going to be. I'm pulling for you every game, Coach, but except one. Except one. I can't. I'm not going to lie. I'm not pulling on that one. But we hope you guys have the best of luck this year. And my dad's back holding up two games because y'all play Pinewood too. But anyhow, well, Coach, we appreciate you coming out, man. Anytime, anything you need from us, you know, we look forward to contacting you this year, maybe getting an interview to check in on you, and we just appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate y'all doing this. This is pretty cool, and great venue over here at Hardware. Me and my wife eating Hardware. We don't have no hard feelings towards that. You know, we like good food, so thank y'all for having me on.
Well, before you get off, Coach, you don't get off that easily. We got a saying down here on the bottom of the sign. It says, "Get on that bus, Bert." Roger, give him an example real quick.
You got to get on that bus.
We got to hear you say it, Coach, and you got to say it like you mean it.
One time.
Get on that what now?
Get on that bus, Big Ugly Sports bus.
Get on that bus, Bert.
There you go, Coach. We appreciate you, man. Coach Garvin, Vidalia High School, we appreciate you for joining us today.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to bring in our last segment, Coach Buddy Martin. If you'll come on down for your interview.
Law, what'd you get right there?
A lot of food.
Lawhorn couldn't make it to 8 o'clock. He's diving into some pizza rolls over here.
This guy's starving.
Hey, throw me one, dog.
You and Hack can share this one.
Yeah.
Coach Martin, what's going on, man? You doing all right?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Pass that down there to
Doing
Roger.
great. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come be a part of the show with us. If you will, for those in here and on YouTube that are watching that don't know you, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been at Toombs, and I know this is your first year head coach, so speak on that a little bit here.
Yeah, sure. So, born and raised in Bartow, Florida. That's central, right between Tampa and Orlando, Lakeland area. I was a head coach down there at Hardy County High School when Richie Marsh called me and said, "Hey, I think I'm in a good place, got a good opportunity. Why don't you come up here and be my defensive coordinator?" And I told him no. I was good where I was at, that they weren't trying to fire me at the time. We had won some games, and my wife had a great job. We were 30 minutes from family, and then called me back and put Bill Benton on the phone. Salesman, yeah.
Yes,
he gave a sales pitch.
He can get it done.
Just kind of started praying about it as a family, and the Lord just kind of started crossing things out and all the reasons we had to not do it. And, so we came and have been here 7 years now and just love it. So thankful the Lord brought us here, and there's great people everywhere, but we know this is where He wants us, and we've met some really awesome people here.
Well, Coach, just tell us a little bit. We've kind of asked everybody here, and I know it's similar, but what have you guys done this summer to help prepare? I know you can only do so much, but what's this summer kind of look like for you guys? Have you done some passing camps and paddy camps? What's all that been for you?
Yeah, so we kind of, being here for 7 years with Coach Marsh, one of the blessings I've had with him is he just mutual trust, respect. I grew up. He was adopted into my family, and so gave me a lot of input, a lot of responsibility. And so, some of the things we've done, we started talking a couple years ago about trying to have more of a November mindset, trying not to wear our guys out early. So, one of the things we did this summer, we went to 3 days a week in June, which I think was tremendous for our kids and our coaches. Versus going 4 days a week, but went 3 days a week, went through against Telfair. We hosted a paddy camp the last week of June before the dead week here at the pit, and had 6 teams come out, and just a tremendous, coming from Florida where you can't do any of that, and then coming here where you can, in Florida you can't even put a helmet on, but wow, to come here and be able to do all that stuff in the summer is just unbelievable still to me, blows my mind. But so great month of June, obviously just coming back off the dead week, practice this morning in the rain. Our kids loved it. I think one of our best practices of summer was this morning. But we'll go to 4 days a week in July. We've been blessed with the opportunity to go to Georgia Southern FCA camp next week, Monday through Wednesday. There'll be some good competition. That'll be like a padded camp, but obviously Fellowship of Christian Athletes, so it'd be more than a padded camp, right? Better than just your normal padded camp. Right. So we're excited about that, taking our kids and our coaches to that, and just getting all of that we can get.
Roger, you want to talk a little bit schematic? Roger's our football guy down there.
He's our X's and O's guy.
He's like the bear. He's like the bear.
Guru.
Very loose term.
He did tell me before we got here, he could get on chalkboard versus anybody in the state of Georgia and get them. As long as he said,
I really believe you said that.
Yeah, as long as he gets last move on chalkboard, he can win.
Just give me the pen. Just give me the pen or the marker, man. I got it.
What you got for him, Roger?
So just kind of talk about like what you guys do schematically, offensively, defensively, things like that.
Yeah, so being the defense coordinator for 7 years, we've had some success defensively. We've had I think a lot of that's consistency. We've based out of a 3-4. We're going to continue to do that. Was able to hire a defensive coordinator that coached with me in Florida for a few years. Excited to have Jeff Smothers here, and that's people make fun. Jeff Smothers, not Jeff Smother. Jeff Smothers here.
That's tough.
And his family, he brings some energy and some passion, and he's fiery, and he's coaching our DBs, and so he's kind of bringing some of what he's done, and kind of I think making us better with what we've been doing out of the 3-4. So based out of that, the thing I love about it is we can be very multiple out of it. We can, in high school football, you have what you have, right? So we can adjust based on who we've got, personnel we've got, the talent we've got, and think we can put those 11 guys in a position to be successful. So it's multiple. We like it. So defensively we'll look a lot similar. Offensively, very fortunate to hire Coach Jared Hamlin back.
Bring him back.
Yep. He was Putnam, right?
He was here when I first came. I came as the defense coordinator. He came as the offense coordinator, and he was my offensive line coach when I was in high school. He was my first year as a head coach. He coached against me at a school down the road. Love Coach Hamlin. Lot of time spent with him, and a tremendous football coach, tremendous man. We're excited to have him and his family back. But so him and then Logan Daves, who was our offensive coordinator last year, coaching the offensive line. He's our strength coach. I don't know of two better men. Our whole staff's that way. I get excited about being in the room with them, and they're gracious to listen to me and hear me and let me share my heart with them a lot of times. But so offensively, we'll be multiple. If we can figure out, we can get a tight end out there, how to use him, and we'll have him out there. If not, we won't. I know Coach Hamlin wants to use tight ends. He wants to use multiple tight ends, but which is where a lot of football's gone now. A lot of 11 personnel, 12 personnel stuff, but we'll be multiple. I think, again, you go to using the talent that you have. We've got some talented, skilled players that we've got to get the ball to. So,
kind of going off that, in my opinion, I think some of the best coaches in the state of Georgia are in single A, double A, because you see so much. A lot of times when you get to 5A, 6A, 7A, you're going to see spread. 99% of the time, that's just what they are. You guys have to kind of get ready every single week to play a wing T team. You might have to play, kind of like what Fitzgerald does, the single wing stuff. You got to play spread. You might have to play some twins open. So, for you guys, what does that look like every single week, kind of going into, you guys game planning for somebody?
Yeah, I think one of the big things across the state of Georgia is those are well-coached teams, too.
That's right.
Very well-coached teams. It's tough, man. It's hard. We're going to play Benedictine in our fall scrimmage.
Luke Cromenhawk, FSU commit, just saying. Stud
he's a dude, man. He's a dude.
Before we move on real quick to that, Coach, I see in the notes you gave me you were a Florida State fan, and then you got saved and then became a Georgia fan. Is that kind of how that worked?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I really wanted
he's
to know.
diehard Florida State.
What was it that really changed that for you to get you over to the?
I got married,
and
she's wise.
She's wide open. University of Georgia. My family is from Sylvester, I'm not from there. I was born in Bartow, but my dad's parents, so my granddad married my grandma. They were both from Sylvester area, and they moved down to Florida. And so, like, as a kid, my dad wore a Georgia hoodie and some of that stuff. But my wife's family's from Moultrie, and they're hardcore University of Georgia. So I was never hardcore anybody.
You just kind of along for the ride at some point, and then you start riding with them dogs.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to win him over.
I'm not going to say it.
I don't think we're going to be able to win him over.
I was about to say something. It's probably overboard, so I'm not going to say it.
Well, hey, that's a good choice. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I'm growing.
Maintaining this family atmosphere we got going on right now.
Coach, speaking of those guys you were talking about, who are some key players specifically that you're looking forward to this year performing well for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it starts with, up front, Brock Nobles is a senior. I don't know that you find a kid that works harder, that goes harder. I mean, he is all out, unbelievable motor every single day. He's intense in meetings. I mean, the way he looks at you. Gets after it in the weight room. Great student, great family, unbelievable kid. He's tough up front when he gets that motor going. And you mentioned the AA ball thing. He's going to play defensive line. He's going to play on the offensive line, and we got to figure out a way to get him a break to get through 4 quarters. But he's a special football player, and he's going to have plenty of opportunities to go play college ball at the next level when it's said and done. But another one that's picked up a lot of attention, I guess you'd say, is Lagonza Hayward. He'll be a junior.
That kid can play.
He's a safety and a receiver, and he's had a tremendous. So, I got the job in January. We get rolling in the weight room, and I pull him aside and I say, "Hey, man, you need to be 195." He played probably at 175 last year. And every day he comes down the hallway and he goes, "Coach, I'm 182," when he shakes my hand. "Coach, I'm 187. Coach, I'm 192. I'm going, "Really?" And we weigh the kids, so we have it charted. I'm like, "Man, this cat." He's
getting after it.
He's 195 now, which is just a really good-looking kid, very well put together. Tremendous worker. He's there every day. But he's picked up an offer from Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech. And there'll be more coming down the road for him. Still just being a junior, but he's a special one. Keyshawn DeLoach is another senior. Moved in from Swainsboro. He can fly. There's only you get a kid that can run at an elite speed. I don't know. There's very many I've coached that can move as fast as he can, and he's got unbelievable ball skills. So he'll help us, receiver and in secondary. I go back to the spring. We have our first day of spring practice, and we go in, and I'm kind of still more defensive minded. So we put on the tape, and we're watching the first play of inside run from practice. And our guy that's at smash lined up over the tight end. That's what we call our outside linebacker that plays on the tight end. He takes the tight end, throws him in C gap, and just like Superman tackles 3 guys in the backfield. And it was Hayden Roy, who's another, be a 10th grader. Started for us, I think, like after week 4, week 5 last year, defensively as a 9th grader. We had him playing 3 technique against Pierce County, slanting him, dealing him left and right, and he gave him a fit that night. And but he's another one that just, in the spring, just say, "Hey, we need you. We're going to try you at quarterback." And he said, "Coach, I'll do whatever it takes to win. I want to win." And he's a winner, and did a tremendous job at quarterback in the spring. Kind of wasn't sure what we were going to get there, and tried several guys there, and he won the position in the spring. And we were T.J. Stanley came over from Robert Toombs in June, and kind of wonder how Hayden's going to take that, and this made him better. I mean, he started throwing the football better. He's competed better.
Competition, man.
It's fun watching those two guys go out, and they both bring something a little different to the table. But TJ's another one we're excited about. Unbelievable kid. When he got a chance to go to the Manning Passing Academy, I was kind of jealous. Can you sneak me in your backpack? That'd be a big old book bag, but. What a tremendous opportunity for him to go do that. But he's another one that's made us better, and there's a bunch of them across the board. I was blessed to go to FCA coaches camp last week, and you just try to talk with as many coaches as I can. Hey, what are you doing? What's your summer been like? And I think human nature sometimes, we'll complain about somebody in a heartbeat. And so you listen to coaches just start. Kids don't show up. Kids aren't as committed today. And I'll tell you that's what I told our guys this morning. I said, I want to say thank you. Y'all show up. And we've got a great group. The best thing about Toombs County is the kids we have in the room right now. They're unbelievable.
Well, whenever I came to Toombs, I guess it was about 2013, man, I was just blown away by the community. The people, the way they welcomed me in. I don't know, I just never really been around a group of people who just bought into everything associated with the school the way Toombs County people do. And I just know it's special. And so I'm not surprised you're talking about those kids being bought in, getting after it. And I can just think back to our wrestling room when we had those kids. I don't know if you remember Jamar Smith. This was before your time, but some of those guys, Eric Hester, and anyway, but J.D. Rogers. But man, this just the kids get in there and they work. And I can remember those walls in that wrestling room just moisture on just from the heat and just getting after it and all that stuff. So, but I mean that's what it takes to be a winner. And so it just kind of gets me excited again hearing you talk about Toombs County kids because I got a Toombs County blood in me.
He's got that blood, Coach.
Well, I got a question for you. So, you've been at Toombs for a while, right? You said, what,
7 years.
7 years, right? And obviously Coach Marsh's done a fantastic, phenomenal job building things. So how was that different? It's like talking about Coach Garvin taking over something completely different. So how was that from somebody that's taken over a new program to somebody that's been in the system that is now trying to put their kind of fingerprints on the program and things like that?
Yeah, so I think one of the really, again, our community's been phenomenal. The transition has been so smooth, so good. I think it goes back to I'm a familiar face, right? I've been here 7 years. Coach Marsh was gracious to give me a lot of input into what we were doing. So there wasn't when I sat down and thought, there wasn't a whole list of things we were going to change. The goal was to continue. Let's continue. Let's try to have a 10-win season and not follow up with a 5-win season, right? Let's win that first round playoff game. Let's get in and make a run. It's just some of those things that obviously you're trying to improve on every year. But I think you talked about Coach Garvin's situation and my situation. There's not a whole lot of things to change. I mean, our kids have been getting after it in the weight room for 7 years.
If it works, it works.
There's a lot of we've had a phenomenal group of coaches that were held accountable and were held to a standard and did it the right way. And so the bar, Coach Marsh set the bar very high, and we're trying to keep it there and
raise it,
continue to raise it, and that's the goal.
Coach, before we let you go here, we asked Coach Garvin a while ago, you've been here for X amount of years now, and you've had the honor, I consider it an honor, to play in the rivalry. For those people that are listening that don't know a whole lot about it, what's it been like from a guy that wasn't from around here to play and coach in that game?
So a couple stories. So my first year here, we played them at the pit, and they were really good, and we were not that good, not as good as they were. We were. I think that's probably was kind of a rebuilding situation when Coach Marsh came in. But I remember standing out there and we were doing some offensive stuff pregame, so I was kind of free for a second, and I'm looking around and Coach Marsh chewed the mess out of some gum on game day. So he's putting a piece of gum. He walks over to me and I said, hey man, you can get on to me later, but I'm fixing to take my phone out and just turn a circle and video it because I got to send this to people in Florida. They won't understand. For me just to tell them. So I take a video, turn a circle. I'm on the sideline later that game. We got film on the iPad, and I've got 2 inside linebackers, and I don't even know what we're talking about. Going to read keys or something probably, and this arm comes. I got my hat on, so I can't. This arm comes over, and he's tapping our middle linebacker in the chest. He says, "You hear that, boy? You do what your coach told you to do." Yeah, that's right. You do what your coach told you. I look up, and there's just a wall of people just standing there, and everything's right there on top of it. We played them last year at the pit, and phenomenal game for us. But there's a part there in the I think it was the third quarter. I'm trying to communicate with the corner that's 20 feet from me, and I can't get his attention. He can't hear me. I told him that's no different than Kirby Smart in between the hedges up there. Now I'm sure the decibels are a little different.
Just a little bit.
The attendance is different, but once you get past the point where
you can't hear you,
I'm hollering and he can't hear me. It's unbelievable. And the pit is unbelievable. The environment there. You take 200 people and put them in there, and you feel like you're playing in front of thousands.
Yep.
It's an unbelievable place, and our community shows up, and there's nothing like it. Nothing I've experienced like it. It makes it challenging for us playing away games. I mean, it's
to get up.
What are we going to do? That's the conversations. What are you going to do to prepare your kids to go play outside of the pit?
Yeah,
that's awesome, Coach. Well, we're going to be pulling for you every game this year, and I hope you guys win every game. I hope you make state playoffs, get over that hump, make a run at the state title. We appreciate you taking time to come out, Coach. We want to check in with you later this year, maybe get a phone interview just to kind of update us on how things are going. But we hope to do this every year. We've enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We just appreciate your time, Coach.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thanks. Go Dogs. Before you get off, you don't get off that easy now. Raji, tell him what you got to say.
At the bottom of the poster down there.
It says, get on that bus.
You got to say it one time. Get on that bus.
You got to say it like you mean it.
Is there a story or like a hidden meaning behind that?
Yeah, there is. But we'll have to tell you off the radio. The bus is Big Ugly Sports, acronym right. Bus. So but we'll tell you after. Yeah. It's not inappropriate. No. Just might offend somebody.
Get on that bus, Bert.
Coach, we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up tonight's preseason
Thank you so much.
coaches show. We had an absolute blast doing it. We look forward to the season as it kicks off here in a couple of months. Thank you again to Hardware Pizza for allowing us to do it. Thank you to our sponsors, Premier Properties of Dublin, J2 Streaming, Brian Subs, and Big Peach Car Wash. And we appreciate all they've done. If you're listening, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. We're going to close it out with, you get to hear Big Raji freestyle. Whatever you're doing, get on that bus.
Yo, what's going, bro? We hopped up on that bus. It's Chill, Hyde, and Raji. Glad you came to whip with us. Got no GPS or telling what we gon' discuss. Shout out Thompson Farms, they got the melons and the nuts. We like a trampoline, yeah, we jumping on this beat. Early morning show.